Good morning. Today's topic is, should you buy a cottage? Pros and cons of both. And you really have to think the purchase through. Number one, are you going to finance the property? If so, you realize that financing a second property is not like financing your first house. Your first house, they use the home as collateral. With a cottage, banks don't like to take the cottage as collateral. What they do is, if your house is paid off, they say get a mortgage on your house and use that money to pay the cottage cash. They would prefer to do it that way. Or get a second mortgage. But then you really have to look at, can I afford to have two mortgages on my main property while the cottage is paid off, but it's really costing me money? So that financing decision has to be looked at by you, and maybe you and your realtor, or you and an accountant, but you really have to evaluate your total income. And there are a lot of surprising costs related to taking care of a cottage. The cons, obviously, purchase price. Purchase prices are up even though prices are down. So yes, prices are down from 2021, maybe 20%, maybe 30%, but they're still expensive. In the Muskokas, you're still going to be mainly over $1 million for a property. In the Kawarthas, you're still going to be $800,000 for a lakefront property. And this will not be something that's in the best shape. It's probably going to be 3-season, and you're going to have a lot of renovations to do. But if you don't mind the renovations, and you really are looking for a 3-season property, well, you don't need to pay the price for a 4-season property. Just maintain the property well. A lot of people forget about the cottage. Oh, I'm not there for a month and a half, and there's no maintenance getting done, grass isn't being cut. Then you go up to the cottage and you go, oh my God, all I ever do is work around here. You should be budgeting in somebody, if you can't do it on a regular basis, budgeting in for someone to come and cut your grass, someone to check on your property. I had a client who called me in January and said, I can't connect with my Wi-Fi to check on my house. Would you go and check for me? I did. His water tank had blown. So I made the arrangements for him, and I got somebody in, and we put in a brand new water tank. A month later, his furnace went. Here we go again. So I again made the arrangements for him and got a furnace installed. But you have to remember that these are not your realtor's true responsibilities. Some realtors will help you. Some will give you a phone number and say, figure it out yourself. But you really need to have arrangements with a maintenance company who goes and checks on the place all winter. It helps for your insurance. It helps for pipes bursting. It helps when the power's down. It helps keep the driveway clean if you want to have it clean when you arrive. You don't want to be shoveling at midnight as you arrive on a Friday night for spending the weekend in the middle of February when it's minus 30. You want the driveway done. You want maybe the house warmed up. Somebody goes in 24 or 48 hours ahead of time and cranks up the heat. Are you going to do like I do when I'm not here, leave the power on and keep the property warm year round? Or are you going to be one of those who shuts down the water, empties your pipes, winterizes the whole property, and then closes it down and you don't step foot in it for 4 or 5 or 6 months? You have to decide what kind of cottage owner you actually want to be. On the good side, well, I'm looking out my window right now, and what do I see? I see my boats, I see the lake, I see the wind blowing, an osprey flying by, there are many eagles, I see the mink, I see all kinds of different wildlife, and when I go outside and sit on my deck, peace just comes over me. Now, I'm a country boy. I love being out in the country. I'm happier chopping wood than I am in the city. My wife is not the same. She loves the country, but she's a city girl. She's happier when she's in the city. So we have to work a schedule around the two of us because we have conflicting interests. And everybody has some kind of conflicting interest, whether it's your spouse that you're going to disagree with on when to go, what to do, how to stay active, who's going to take care of what work and maintenance and all of that. Or maybe your children as they grow older. I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. I want to stay here with my friends. You hear that a lot. The children don't want to go. They want to stay with their friends. They want to be in the city with going to the movies, going and doing other items that they would do in the city. So, you can force them at a certain point. At a certain point, you got to start leaving them there when they're old enough. That, again, are decisions that you're going to have to make. Are you going to retire at the property? Is it somewhere that you want to be? Can you handle the maintenance as you get older? There's a lot of maintenance. On the storm on July 1st, I lost two 60-foot trees right in front of my window looking out overlooking the lake. It took me 2 days to cut those trees all up. And then I had to hire an excavator to come in and remove the root balls because they were like 8 feet in diameter of two trees combined. And it took not only the excavator, but myself helping with my tractor to pull those root balls out. It wasn't fun. Now, I've got a big hole in my yard, 12 feet in diameter, 3.5 feet deep, and I have to refill it, figure out what I want to do with it. Do I want to put grass? Do I want to put another kind of deck out there? What do I want to do with that area? Do I want to make it another flower bed that I have to maintain? Maintenance is never ending at a cottage. The wind seems to blow more here. There are definitely more trees. Branches are always falling. Grass needs to be cut. The properties are larger, so now you're not doing it by a push mower. You're using a ride-on tractor. So, is it worth it? For me, yeah, absolutely. I don't care about the work. I love it. I love the water. I go fishing every night. My wife is in the city. Last night, my neighbor came over. He grabbed me, and the two of us went out to go and catch a couple of nice bass. You have to like that. You have to want to be able to do that. You leave at 6 o'clock, and you're on the boat at 6:01. So that is part of the lifestyle. Now, in the winter, it's a different story. Winter's not as pleasant. I mean, we do have one neighbor who absolutely loves the winter, and she's out there, walking around, snowshoeing, and just enjoying the winter every single day. And I have other neighbors who, they just barely leave their cottage, or it's actually their home because it's a 4-season homes. They never leave the property. Apart from maybe if they're not retired, then they're going to work, but they do nothing in the winter. It's very boring. My wife won't spend the winter here. She doesn't want to do it. There's not enough snow most winters. We've been here 16 years, and there's only been 3 or 4 winters that we had enough snow to snowmobile out of 16. There's only 3 or 4 winters that we had the ice that was nice enough to build skating rinks. But these are all things that you look at. The farther north you go, the better snow you're going to get, the better ice coverage you're going to get. Every location is different. So you have to pick what's going to fit you. If you want within 2 hours of Toronto or, of a big city, it's going to be more expensive. It's going to be pricier. Now, I gave you a lot of negative things about cottages, but to me, all of those negative things are blown out of the water by the good stuff. Family and friends coming over. Street parties, 4, 5, 6, some years 7 or 8 of them happening. All of the neighbors getting together. If there's a problem and trees fall over on the road, 3, 4 neighbors get out there with chainsaws and we cut it up and move it out over and clean it all up so hydro can get in and repair our hydro. And it's a community. Something that I don't have in the big city. I definitely have it here. But if you think about it, the community part of owning a cottage, if you participate, will make you enjoy the place not 1 or 2 times more, but 10 times more. The discussions should be had prior to purchase. Because real estate in general, my personal opinion, prices are not going to go up soon. They're going to stabilize down at these lower prices. And they might start to crawl up, over the next couple of years. And after that, well, we don't know. I mean, politics and the way everything is going around the world, who knows? We might have a 3rd World War. That would be fun. Yeah, no, I don't worry about it too much. I think that you buy the property because you want it. You buy it because you and your family are going to enjoy it. And your benefits outweigh the negatives. But you should be doing a benefit analysis prior to purchase and working with a realtor whom lives in cottage territory and knows the ins and outs is the best way to go. If you hire a Toronto realtor, they're not going to know very much about cottages in general. They don't know about septic tanks. They don't know about anything like that. So you got to think about that. Don't just use a friend because he's a friend in Toronto or in any big city. Make sure you hire somebody who knows what you're buying, why you're buying it, and knows all about that type of property to be able to help you out, to make the correct decision and making sure that you can afford it at the same time. Anyways, those are my thoughts on buying a cottage, and believe you me, there's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, if your heart is in the country, then you couldn't go wrong. You will absolutely love it. Have a great day from Brian Lower, Right at Home Realty.